Hey, Miss Peavy. Miss Peavy, what do you think about that slap her around the world? I need to get some feedback from y'all. Go ahead and give it to me early before everybody gets on here. I want to hear what a female has to say about it. I've been hearing from males all day. I'm trying to hear a female talk about it. There she is.
Hi.
There she is. Look at there. Look at there.
Ooh, how are you?
Boy, you got that glow. Man.
I'm trying.
Why? How come I'm only seeing half your picture? What's that all about?
I don't know.
There you go. There you go.
Okay. Trying to make it work. Not that way, this way.
I know that, Miss Peavy. What do you think, though? I mean, was it warranted? Did you see the act, Miss Carey? What you think about the slap, real quick? Come on, give me some before we get started.
Are we gonna talk about it though? Because I don't want to.
All right, well, no, you ain't gotta talk about it yet. I asked Miss Peavy what she thought about it. We'll talk. Yeah, we gotta talk about it because you know everybody want to know.
Right.
I know. I thought it was a publicity stunt too when I first saw it. Till I heard him out there cussing like that. I thought it might
was fake.
Become some kind of stage thing too. Somebody sent out a thing today on Facebook where it showed really like the reactions of people in the audience, like The Rock and a whole bunch of other people, and to see their reactions was eye-opening.
Well, Lupita's actions enough. I mean, when she was sitting right next to him, she's like,
yeah. One lady had her hand over her mouth, and I mean, it was
yeah,
like I said, eye-opening to see. What's up, Matt? Yeah, I agree with you there, Matt. Yeah, I agree with that. Matt said it's interesting who people choose to slap. And
yeah, it's also interesting that Chris Rock almost. I mean, look, if you go back to 2016, he was joking on Will Smith and Jada in 2016, and so I mean, at some point, given where Will said he was, he said if you read his book or if you've heard his book, he talks about an abusive father who he watched his mom get beat and he regrets never standing up for her. And I mean, it's just a different Will today.
I like it. Ooh, Miss Carey, I'm gonna love your take. Ooh, I can't wait. Ooh, you giving me goosebumps. I love it. Carey finna tell it. That's what I like. Tom, what's up? Tom, I might be your way tomorrow night. I think I'm gonna come see Morbius. I'm not. I got very low expectations. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I was never a fan of that character in Spider-Man back when I used to watch the Spider-Man movies and films and animated and all that other stuff. I like Blade when they brought out Blade in Spider-Man. I wasn't a fan of Morbius, so this should be interesting. Tom said he got next 2 days off. Miss B said she didn't know men slapped other men. You should have been reading all the stuff I read all day, Miss Peavy. They said that that slap was a well thought out thing by Will. He could have easily punched him, but he slapped him to show that he had no respect for him as a man and that he looked at him as a woman and all this. Oh man, this dude got all deep and philosophical with it and everything else. So you'll have
but that would argue toward premeditation, and I think Will was outside of himself.
I'm with you. I agree, but like I said, that ain't what this dude said. This dude was like breaking it all down to he could have easily punched him and knocked him out and all that, but he chose not to do that, and he slapped him to show that he thinks of him as a female, and so he treated him like one. All kind of stuff. All right, Travis, go ahead and let's roll. Start the music. Let's get the thing pumping.
Say the clock. Oh, you already know what it is, man. Ooh and Jay, they coming through. Straight no chaser. Straight from the hip.
Straight from the hip, don't need no script, just need a microphone. My man Coach Boo gon' take you to the entertainment zone. They got the stats, the this and that to keep this show on point. And when we're done, we have some fun and rock this funky joint. So if you will, sit back and chill, give us a chance to show ya. If one of y'all would like to call, we'll talk just like we know ya. We take control, then start the roll, and then there ain't no stopping. It's time to dip straight from the hip. Hey, yo, let's get it poppin'.
Hey, welcome to Straight from the Hip. I'm your host, Coach Gerald Boo Mitchell, live, Imperial Ballroom on Black Man. And boy, it looks better and better every time I see it. Here with us tonight on the ones and twos in the background, who y'all can't see, we got Travis back there. He'll, I'm sure, stick his head out from time to time to let us know he's back there. And the lovely, look at you, got your little beads in the front. I ain't mad at you. That's what I'm talking about. Ooh, boy, you never cease to amaze me. I know you done shined up that nose ring a little bit. It's looking a little more shiny than usual.
That's right, Coach. I was in the bathroom like.
I ain't mad at you, Miss Carey. Anyway, folks, we're gonna go ahead and get started. We'll real briefly talk about the Oscars. It's funny because we do have sports news in the Oscars. There were actually two people who won an award last night. Shaquille O'Neal and Steph Curry, I think, were producers on something that won an Oscar last night. I can't remember what it was, but of course, that's not the news that everybody's talking about. Everybody talking about the slap heard around the world, so we're going to spend about 2 minutes on it. Miss Carey going to give her take. I'm going to give my take, and y'all can put y'all's take in here, and I'll read them out, and then we'll keep it moving. So, Miss Carey, what do you think?
I mean, I think that Will has apologized, and so I think that he recognizes it wasn't the time or the place to object to Chris Rock's comments. I haven't seen Chris Rock's response yet, but I think that he did apologize for what he said about Jada. As I said earlier, in 2016, he also made reference to Jada in his monologue, referring to the fact that Jada was boycotting the Emmys or the Academy Awards because there wasn't enough representation of Black folks on the winners, and so, or on the nominees, and so she was boycotting. And he said her boycotting the Oscars or the Academy was like him boycotting Rihanna's panties. She wasn't invited, just like he wasn't invited. And so he has found a safe spot, in my opinion, he, just like Will, everybody's saying Will knows who to smack. Chris has found a safe spot in joking on soft Will and on Jada. And this time he encountered a different Will. After representing, Will talked about after representing Richard Williams or Serena and Venus's father in that movie, and talking about protection of his girls and protection of Black women, protection of his mom. In his book, he talks about his mom being beat by an abusive father and that he never stood up to his father. It's a different, I think he came out of self. He came out of that good boy character and walked right up there and showed, I don't know about the punch versus a slap, but he got his point across. Keep his wife's name out his mouth. And I bet Chris doesn't talk about Jada again.
Okay. Well, I have a slightly different take. At first, I thought it was a joke. I can't sleep at night. So I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning like I always do, inundated with text messages from people asking me if I saw it and this and that and sending me clips of it and everything. And I probably watched it 10 times thinking that it was like some kind of joke or something.
Right.
And then, when you realize it's not a joke, to me, it's just very sad. The whole incident was sad. I don't agree at all with what Will Smith did. I think that, you have to somehow figure out a way to hold your water, as they say in the South, in cases like that. I just had dinner with another African American man, one of the parents of one of the kids I trained, and we talked about it. And we were in agreement. I would have rather him have gone up to Chris Rock and just whispered in his ear and said, "Next time I see you, it's on."
It's on site, right?
And just walk away. And then when after everybody wants to know what I said to him, like, he know what I said. Go ask him. You got to ask me, ask him. He know what I said. I would leave it at that. But I promise you, I would have said it in a way that would have put the fear of God in where
I get it.
He gonna stay away from me. And I promise you, gonna keep my wife's name out for what I just said to him. So, I mean, that I would have rather seen that, or I would have rather have heard about an altercation at the after party or something, but not right here at the award show on live TV. I just felt like that was a little much for me. Everything else you're saying, I listen. I understand. I mean, every man has his breaking point, and even if he just slapped him, and then just went back and sat down and been quiet, but he continued the effing mouth thing and all that, and I just felt like that was a little too much for me. So I think that he probably, in retrospect, could have handled it a little bit better, even in his mind. My thing about apologies the day after is, especially when you are somebody like that, I don't like them. I'm just gonna be honest with you, because I think that's when your publicist and your attorney and everybody's advised you, and sometimes it's a prepared written statement. I mean, it's just bad, and I don't like them. I doubt the sincerity of them, honestly, because I feel like you've had all your handlers and your mama done called you and everybody said you better hurry up and apologize and do this and say something, because and I think it's just too contrived for me to accept that there's any sincerity in it. So anyway, that's where we are. I mean, like I said, I felt like, don't get me wrong, I am not condoning Chris Rock. I mean, he's a comedian, and I get it's really hard for comedians to know when you're going too far. I didn't know, for the record, that she had that disease. I'm not sure Chris Rock knew or whatever, and that it causes you to lose your hair or whatever. I'm serious. Every time I've seen her like that, I thought because she was doing this red table stuff, she just decided to go natural, and just kind of take pride in her hair being the way that it is, and I'm just gonna roll with it all natural, because there's a lot of women who do that, and I had no idea that that she had an issue. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
The other piece of that, no, I'm sorry because I interrupted, but the other piece of that is that joke was not on the teleprompter. It was not something that he had rehearsed earlier so that people could have been aware of what he was going to say, like the other things that he said. And so he ad-libbed that. And so, I mean, I don't, that I don't condone at all the action. I don't like that he did it, but I'm going to guess that each of us has a point where we would be out of body and that the next day we'd be like, damn, I wish I'd have handled that differently. But yeah, he failed on this point.
Yeah. And Will Smith, I guess, somebody told me he's 50. I guess he could be 50. I don't know. I mean, we've been watching him for a long time. I'm 55. As a 55-year-old man, when I get in these kind of things, I'm dangerous. I'm real dangerous right now because I done had time to think and everything. I done had time to acquire properties that people don't know about. I'm gonna kidnap you and take you out to my property somewhere and tie you up. I will deal with you slowly.
Coach, we're recording this.
That's how I would do it, Miss Kid. Go out there.
Some people like you. What?
Take some rose bushes and beat you with those rose bushes like that with the thorns, and then pour alcohol all over you.
Damn.
See, I done sat back and thought of the good stuff.
Let's get to the NFL before you get into any trouble, okay?
I'm trying to save him, Travis. I'm trying to save him. He's not letting me.
Silence of the Lamb type stuff. Anyway, let's move on. Deshawn Watson had his press conference the other day. I'm going to go ahead and just tell you, I wasn't impressed. Miss Carey, I'm gonna let you go first. I'm gonna finish up because I was not impressed at all. What do you think about his press conference?
I was most impressed by the GM. The GM, and I can't think of his name right now. Green? No, I can't think of his name.
Yeah, I can't.
Anyhow, I thought that he was solid. That his demeanor and his kind of his overall presence led the whole meeting. Like nobody got loud, nobody got over anxious with their questions with Deshawn. So he set the precedence there.
I agree.
I was disappointed that the owners weren't there. And really everybody was shielded by the fact that the investigation is still going on, right? They didn't have to answer any questions because the investigation is still going on. So that was their answer to everything. I did, we all noted that Deshawn is still staying true to the fact that he didn't assault anybody. He doesn't take advantage of people. He's not going to counseling because he doesn't have an issue. So, all of that, I still stand as much as I want to believe him. I think that in general, this society is not made to celebrate Black man's success. And so it's hard for me to put the kibosh on this man's career because of these allegations so far. But you know what? I didn't believe when they said that Bill Cosby, Dr. Huxtable, was doing the stuff that he was doing, and he ended up he was doing it. So I'm hoping that one more thing. The thought or the idea of a happy ending, Deshaun Watson did not create that term. That term is out there for that industry for a reason. There are people who absolutely give happy endings during your massage, and it's not uncommon and it's not unheard of. And so I feel that the fact that he has seen 22 masseuses over the last 5 years that doesn't mean that much to me. He found some people who probably give him happy endings, and somebody got upset. And here we are.
Okay.
So I'm hoping that he gets to tell his side of the story at some point, and that he'll in some way, he won't be vindicated, but that he'll find a way to resurrect his career.
First of all, Matt Kool-Aid says Andrew Berry is the GM. And I'm with you. Yeah, I like the GM. I thought he did a very good job. I think he held his own. I thought it was atrocious that the owners weren't there. I mean, you don't do something like this without everybody standing there in lockstep and everything else. And I thought it was atrocious that they weren't there. And I think that it's their way of, if this thing goes south, say, well, you know, we really never really bought into this. We kind of let the GM take control, and him and the head coach kind of decide this is what they wanted to do. So we forked up the money for it, but that's about it. I just thought it was really, really poor taste that they weren't there, and didn't try to field in question. Like you said, they could all say, well, we can't talk about any of this stuff. You know, I mean, obviously for all kind of reasons, we can't talk about it. So, you know, if y'all want to talk about football, we can talk about football. If y'all want to talk about, you know, what our plans are with, you know, what we're trying to do or whatever, we can do that. But other than that, if y'all want to talk about Mayfield, we can talk about Baker and what we're trying to do with him or whatever. But we'll answer those questions. But we're not going to answer any other questions. They could have easily done that. So I don't know what them not being there was all about. Here's my thing, though. And I'm like you. I thought that the GM was just too smooth. What I didn't like was Deshawn's some of Deshawn's demeanor. I don't think that anybody really counseled with him. I couldn't help but laugh when they said, you know, what do you want people to know about Deshawn Watson and this, that, and other? And he said, well, I want people to know that I'm really out in the community. I like being hands-on in the community. Well, goddamn, that's what got you in trouble.
Yeah.
I mean, who didn't tell him not to use that kind of term? I mean, were you not shocked to hear him use that? The man said, I'm hands-on. I was just like, oh, my God. I'm like, does he not have a publicist or an agent or anybody, a daddy, a mom, somebody telling him not to be using that kind of terminology right now? As soon as it happened, I picked up the phone and called Jason. Jason didn't answer, but I was just going to say, did you hear that? I mean, that was just bad. And, I thought his demeanor was okay. And I like the fact that he continues to say, I didn't do it. You know, I mean, because like I said, if you didn't do it, and if it was me, I'm sticking to it, to going to the grave with it. I didn't do it. And every time somebody asks me, I'm going to say the same thing. It don't matter. I didn't do it. Now, what's going to happen, though, is, in my opinion, the quickest, easiest way out of this for him is to pay those girls off. And if he pays them off, everybody's going to think he did it. Mm-hmm. Even if you didn't do it, everybody's going to think you did it. And now you saying all these times you didn't do it, but yet you pay your way out of it. But just the way that the legal system works, if he wants to get on the field, if he wants to, avoid NFL punishment for too long and all of those things, he probably going to have to pay him off. I don't know anybody who's ever done this. Ben Roethlisberger, I think he wound up settling with that lady, who claimed that she did it. Most of the guys who go through this, especially one person, let alone 22, wind up having to pay some amount of money to just get this over with, just get this done. Yeah. Because at this point, those ladies are so vested in this too that at this time, there's no way that they can just drop it and say, oh, well, no, it didn't really happen or whatever. So anyway, Dustin, I'm doing a radio show. I'll call you right back. I'm sorry, guys. That's a big business deal I'm working on. But like I said, they have to now do something to, make themselves look good too. So if they're gonna look crazy, look like they lied if they just, jump up and say, well, it didn't happen or whatever. So, and I don't know how that's going to affect him as far as the NFL is concerned. I think it's going to be tough. Miss Peavy said, did Ben's career suffer? I would say to some degree, maybe Miss Peavy, not necessarily on the field, but I know a lot of people were done with Roethlisberger after that because of just the fact that, he had a lot of people viewed him in some light because, like I tell everybody, you're never going to be viewed the same again after that. Even if you're innocent, even if you are totally innocent, there's going to be people out there who viewed you one way, who now, just because it was even alleged that you did it, going to view you in another light. Because they're going to, you know what people always say, you're never going to really know the truth. She's some of it, he's some of it, but you ain't really going to know the whole truth. So there's got to be something that he did that he shouldn't have been doing.
Yeah.
And I know that I looked at him in a different light. I know that Jason, I remember when it happened, Jason couldn't stand him, you know, after that, because he felt like he knows he did it. And I mean, it's that same thing where, you know, if it had been somebody different, you know, he'd have been treated differently, yada, yada, yada. And so, like I said, I don't know that you ever, you know, recover from something like that. So that's why I would just say, Ms. K, I saw you shaking your head saying that it didn't really hurt his career. I'm just saying that I don't think that maybe endorsements and things like that, it might have hurt his career that way. Sure. Where people say, no, we're not going to have Ben Roethlisberger as a spokesperson for our company anymore and things like that. So, but I don't think it might have hurt him any more than that. But that's a very good question. He never did miss the season. You're right about that, Ms. Peavy, and I agree with you. So it wasn't the Royal per se, but he did have to pay that lady off. Go ahead, Ms. Carey.
We'll never know the truth, but it does make me wonder, had Deshawn never asked to be traded, where these allegations would be.
Amen. Thank you, Ms. Carey.
Number two, there's a big difference between Ben Roethlisberger and the accuser of rape. She accused him of rape, and these women are accusing Deshawn of sexual misconduct.
Right.
There's
big difference.
100 steps
Huge
between
difference.
there.
Huge difference. I agree. Anyway, enough of that. We're gonna move on. We'll go ahead and talk about Baker since we are talking about. I mean, will anybody, and I'm asking y'all this. We need to find somebody who will give a 7th round draft pick and a ham sandwich for Baker Mayfield. I mean, anybody. It don't matter who it is. It be Atlanta. It can be anybody. It can be. I heard Cincinnati was thinking about it. That's what I heard. Cincinnati thinking about bringing Baker over there from Cleveland to Cincinnati. They're gonna take him over there in a cab. It's only about a cab drive ride away to get over there and let him be under Joe Burrow. He might be.
Here comes Travis.
I know. I'm waiting on Travis. Just like Chris Rock waiting on Will. Uh-oh. Here you go.
Put your hands behind your back, coach.
Yeah, Travis said, don't start. Yes, Travis, Miss Carey, in the chat right there said, don't start. Anyway, what's going to happen to Baker Mayfield, Miss Carey? What he going to do?
Oh,
is there somewhere for him to start
right now?
Is there somewhere for him to start?
I think, I don't know. I mean, do you go for him or Jimmy Garoppolo? I mean, those are the two people out there still waiting. And so I think even me, I would put him after Jimmy G. Yeah, and he's not. I'm with you on that. I don't know. That's kind of like 6 pounds in one hand and a pound 6 pounds of turkeys in one hand and 6 pounds of feathers in the other. You know what I mean? And which one do you want? Which one weighs more, as they used to say? I don't. Yeah. To me, they're about the same. Jimmy and Baker. I thought Houston was going to come out of the bag for Baker Mayfield. I really did.
But nobody wants Baker.
Not yet.
I think it's because of the way that he's acting about all this. He's acting like such a turd. I mean, this is a business. Matt Ryan sat there and lowered all his demands and money they owed him and everything else just for them to get him prime so they get rid of him and bring Deshaun here. Do you see him? Oh, goodbye, Atlanta, this, that, and other. He just went through the process, and then he very graciously bowed out and moved on to the next job. I mean, that mess that Baker did, I saw a report that said when he found out that they had even went and met with Deshaun and talked to Deshaun, he wanted out.
Because he knew.
I know, but my whole thing is that is the way this business works. And so all you got to do is just hang tough. I mean, you got an agent, and you just got to say, okay, well, what's next? What's our plan? I mean, he should have went to see his agent, sat down and said, listen, they went and met with Deshawn. I found out about it, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. What's our plan? What are we doing? I mean, that's what you got an agent for.
Yeah.
But for you to be sitting there sending a goodbye Cleveland and all that other stuff, man, who wants to deal with that for the next stop? They don't want that.
Yeah, Coach, the two things that stand out to me is there's about 10 years difference between Matt Ryan and Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
That frontal lobe is still developing.
Yeah.
And then secondarily, it was the coaching staff, right, of Cleveland, that said something about him being a child, right? That they were looking for an adult.
A grown man. They need a grown ass man, what they were trying to say.
That doesn't help. That doesn't help the situation. After that, that's when Baker Mayfield said, trade me. Because at this point, you calling a man a child. And yes, you would wish that he was maybe handling it differently, and maybe you could have said it that way. Mm-hmm. Baker should know that this is how the business works, and we're going to have conversations with him so that he understands that this is part of the business, rather than call this guy a child.
I know. Here the thing is, and I guess nobody ever explained this to Baker Mayfield. Any kind of sports, when you are dealing in this industry, whether it is Pee Wee League, high school, college, pro, as a coach and as an owner, the person who runs the team, owns the team, whatever, the GM, you are always looking for ways to make your team better. Always. So if that means I got to get another quarterback, another defensive lineman, if Patrick Mahomes is coming on the market, whatever, if I can figure out a way to get him in here over who I got, and I feel like he's going to be that much better, I'm going to do it, because that's my job, is to do that. It's not my job to get emotionally tied to people and the players and say, oh, we would never cut Baker Mayfield. We would never get him out of here. I mean, I tell people all the time, be the best. That's what your job is. Your job is to be the best. So when I look down this roster and I look down the roster of the NFL, there's nobody better than you. So you're always going to have a job here because nobody's better than you. That's why you can't look around the locker room and say, oh, I know I'm the best receiver on this team. I know I'm the best receiver here. I'm good. There's no way they would cut me because I'm the best receiver. You better look around this whole league and be the best receiver around this whole league. That's right. The only way you can really guarantee that if you don't want to go, you're not going to go. You'll be right there. And if you are the best receiver, guess what? You made yourself options now where you can go anywhere you want when you want to. I mean, if you want to call your own shots, be the best. If you're not the best, then you're susceptible to anything. Anything happening. I mean, you being cut, you being traded. I mean, it could be anything. And you have to live with it. You have to deal with it. And when you do have to live with it and deal with it, be a grown-ass man. Be grown about it. And say, hey, that's the way this league is. I mean, bottom line is I've had a couple bad years or whatever and didn't really live up to expectations. Now I got to live with that. Own up to it. Man up. And I mean, he didn't do that. And so I'll be honest with you. I mean, you know me. He couldn't play for me. I mean, if I was the NFL owner, would you get him? I wouldn't. I don't want that. Not from the man who's supposed to be the team leader. Ms. Peavy say he hadn't produced since he got there. That's what he needs to understand. There you go. It's a business. That's it. Ms. Peavy, that's what I'm talking about, Ms. Peavy. Ms. Peavy on a roll today. I agree. Let's talk about Jimmy G. The Niners won't cut him. So they're not going to cut him. And guys, understand this, please. Again, this is part of what we were just talking about. He's an asset. I mean, not much of one as far as I'm concerned. But to a lot of people in the NFL, there are a lot of people who were looking at him before he dumbass decided to go have surgery and all that stuff. So now nobody really knows how good he's going to be coming back. And so he'll have to go through the process. But nonetheless, right now, he is an asset. And I mean, that's like you saying, well, I'm going to go throw my, 48-inch TV out in the trash can. I'm not going to do that because I can sell it and maybe get something for it or trade it and get something for it. So they're not just going to just cut him because essentially cut him. That's why I had such a problem with Cleveland cutting Jarvis Landry. Why would you do that? I mean, I think that's crazy. A 5-time Pro Bowler, you just say, man, just get out, just go, as opposed to trying to get something for him from somebody. And then, you know, surely a 5-time Pro Bowler, you can work something out somewhere. He's of value to somebody. So, in any event, what do you think? What do you think the Niners are going to wind up doing with Jimmy after he does get well miscarried?
I think they hold on to him till the desperate team gets desperate enough to give them what they want. And I bet it's going to be Seattle. Seattle just doesn't want – Seattle's not giving up the cards just yet. But, I mean, they're going in with Locke right now.
Well, look.
With Drew Locke.
Oh, Drew Locke. Okay. I thought I missed something. I thought you were saying Andrew Luck was coming back to the league.
No, but he looks bad.
I missed that, boy. Ooh, I missed that. If that was the case. Yeah, no.
Well, I can't wait till I come to the show with something you don't know.
Ooh, boy, you almost got me there if you were gonna say Andrew Luck was coming back. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I don't see him going to Seattle though. I really don't. Not that I see who is going to Seattle. Travis said they're not going to trade Jimmy G to a division rival. I would. He could go anywhere. He ain't going to hurt you. He ain't going to hurt you at all. That joke is as mundane as they come. So it wouldn't bother me for him going to a division rival. And I'm a 49ers fan. I don't want to keep him. I'm going to tell you that right now. I hope they get him out of there.
Yeah.
I don't know that Trey Lance is the guy. And Trey Lance has not made me a believer. But I know for a fact it ain't Jimmy. I know that. That has been proven multiple times. I can sit there and tell Jason on the phone, dude, ain't no way in the hell he ain't going to throw an interception right here. And he throw an interception right there. I asked Jason how many times I've done that. I said, I promise you on this next drive, Jimmy G going to throw an interception. I promise you. I'll eat my hat if it doesn't happen. Damn sure happen. And then, I mean, he's just that predictable. And I think he can't perform in the big moments. He's just not. He's not that guy. He's just not cut out like that. So to me, for the 49ers to keep him would be an indictment on the ownership and the GM saying that we're just going to be a mediocre team. Because you can get to the playoffs. Jimmy G can get them to the playoffs. They know that. I mean, their team don't even need Jimmy G to get to the playoffs. But to go past that and possibly win a Super Bowl ain't going to happen. Not with him. You ain't going to be able to win a Super Bowl with him. And then you just – I hope he does not wind up in San Francisco when all this is said and done. I trade his ass for a center.
So you don't think he'll stay and sit?
Who? Jimmy G?
Like no. they start Trey Lance, but they don't trade him at the beginning. And he's not traded off by the season start.
I think at that point they'll cut him because now you have to worry about Trey Lance looking over his shoulder, and you don't want that either.
That's true.
So you don't want him, worrying about Jimmy G, and that's why they got Jimmy G, because now you're not showing much confidence in him if you're keeping him around and that kind of thing. If it gets to that point where Jimmy G become like Baker Mayfield, where nobody will give you a doggone slinky for his ass, I mean, you got to let him go. You got to get on up out of here.
I think the 49ers would trade him to a division rival if they can hamper them by charging them enough for it, right? So if the Seahawks have to give them a ton of their picks or other people in the trade, some way that they can hamper them other than and make them hurt for it.
Well, that's what Travis is saying. It would be too much of a hit, for their cap if, for him to go in as backup quarterback at that salary. When it gets to that point, Travis, that's what I'm saying is you just have to let his ass go. Because nobody's going to pay you that much money. Be like, okay, we can't get nothing for you because nobody wants you because you cost too much and you ain't that good. And so, therefore, just get out.
And that's what some teams are waiting for.
Yeah.
They're waiting for him to be cut so that they can pick him up for nothing.
That's true. And I also heard that the Panthers would welcome back Cam Newton. I thought that was interesting. What do you think about that, Ms. K? You Atlanta girl. Cam, I know. Now, listen, there's been some talks in these streets about you and Cam Newton, but go ahead.
No, I know there hasn't. Not in these streets. Yeah, I don't know, Coach. I mean, he hasn't done anything in a long time.
In a
Ask
long
Janet
time.
Jackson.
In a long time. Does that tell you how
So-
raggedy this league is? That somebody would even fix them out to say they would welcome Cam Newton back?
Yeah.
I mean, for a long time, he's been bad.
I mean, we're hurting for leaders, though, for quarterback leaders.
I think they're hurting to fill some seats in that stadium and maybe bring Cam back because, you know, at his height, they were at their height. I mean, that's when they were filling that stadium and everything else because he's very charismatic now. He's very charismatic and, you know, he's fun to watch warm up and he's fun to, you know, put some quotes in the media and to, you know, dance at his presence. It's fun to see what the hell he's going to wear to the stadium every
Superman.
week. Yeah, oh, it's fun. Oh, that's good. The Superman thing. And I mean, he's a show now. He's a showman. And I mean, that might be, guys, I'm telling you, that's the strategy for some of these people. They ain't thinking about winning. You think the Panthers are thinking about winning the damn Super Bowl? And they just want to make some money. They just want to damn be able to break even on that big stadium they got in downtown Charlotte and all that other stuff. And they just want to do that. I've been to the stadium. It's impressive. It's a nice stadium. Very nice stadium. And I went last year to watch Bradley Roby playing there. And probably go again this year to watch him playing there. But like I said, I think that that might be more what they're looking to. I just can't see Cam being a starting quarterback again in the NFL, to be honest with you. I can't. I mean, but let me backtrack on that. As bad as some of these teams are, I can't see him. I can see him starting in a number of places, you know, because it's just some bad teams out there and there's some bad quarterbacks out there. And he's just as bad or just as good as some of the worst ones out there. And I could see him maybe going somewhere. Gardner Minshew still in the NFL. I mean, you know, you got some jokers like that still out there, so why not? Why can't he be out there, you know? Last thing we're going to talk about these quarterbacks is now they're saying Deshaun, because he's next in line to get a bag, should be getting the same bag that Deshaun Watson got. Lamar Jackson should be getting the same bag that Deshaun got. What do you think about that, Ms. Carey? He next in line. He next up.
You know what I said about
the market is set.
Jackson.
The market is set, Ms. Carey.
But what did I say last year? He's a gimmick. Like I don't believe in Lamar Jackson. I'm sorry.
Be careful
Not
now.
yet.
You got to get Travis on here because Travis said he's the best quarterback in the NFL. We got Travis on tape saying that he's the best quarterback in the NFL. Yeah, you did, Travis.
Nah.
Never said that. Never said that.
Yeah, Travis said it. He said it.
No, I don't believe in Lamar because he hasn't done anything, and we can't hold him to any different metric than we hold the rest of the quarterbacks to. He hasn't done anything. He hasn't won any more games in the playoffs than Marcus Mariota. So he hasn't shown me anything. I don't think he deserves a bag yet. You got to do something first.
You ain't got to convince me because everybody who watches this show knows I'm not a fan. I mean, you got to be able to throw the football in the NFL, in my opinion, in order to win. He's a hell of a runner, and he can throw the ball far and he can throw the ball hard, and we've seen all that. But the NFL is the difference between success and failure as a quarterback is about that far. Because if you don't throw that ball sometimes that much farther than you need to, it's going to be a pick. And I mean, it's just that way. And he struggles to do that consistently, in my opinion. Yeah, I agree, Ms. P. Ms. P said he's not deserving or ready for a bag like that. And I don't think he is either, Ms. P. Now, it will be interesting to see $230 million guaranteed is what's out there now. It'll be interesting to see how far on this side of that he's going to be, because we know he ain't going to be on that side of it. He's going to be somewhere on this side of it. It'll be interesting to see how far on this side of it. I, for one, like you said, Miss Carey, I think he is a quote unquote gimmick, as you say. I, for one, would be done with that by now. I'm like, you know what? It's time to go in another direction. I would have shut that down a long time ago, but they didn't. And Harbaugh, Jim Harbaugh, not Jim Harbaugh, his brother. He is he's still going with it. He's still rolling with it. And he's decided that we can win this way. And since we can win this way, we're gonna keep him and just develop our team and build our team around him. And he's done a great job with that. But again, he's like Jimmy. He can't win a Super Bowl. I don't think he can win a Super Bowl that way. So that being said, it is what it is. But I don't think he'll get near that amount of money. And
will he be in the twos, Coach? Will he be in the twos?
Ooh, 200. I'm not saying he's even gonna make 200. I mean, he might be maybe 120. Somewhere around there. I'm thinking maybe 150 max. It won't exceed 150. It won't be. It will not exceed 150. No doubt.
Well, how many years are you saying though? So what are we saying? What do you think his range is annually?
They'll probably. I could see them going 5 years with him. I can see them going 5 years with him. I mean, like I said, that will make him a $30 million guy versus being a $50 million guy or being a $40 million guy. I can see him being a $30 million guy. I can see 5 years, 150. But that's the tip top. So anything less than that, you can put window dressing how you want to, but it won't be any more than that because I just don't think the value is there. I really don't. So anyway, let's talk real quick about Tyreek Hill, and then we'll talk about college basketball. Tyreek Hill done changed the whole NFL. I mean, once he decided he was leaving and going to Miami, which I think was a terrible decision. Kansas City had to regroup. And so they brought in a couple new receivers. And, it just started a whole shakeup now in the NFL as far as receivers. Not to mention, it set a new mark for receivers as far as, money. What do you think about that decision right there, Miss Carey?
Well, he was after the bag, right? So we'll see. I think it's what you said earlier, though, Coach. You said something about telling your players, look around the league and say, am I the best receiver out here? Then you can command what you want to command. And he and Devontae Adams did that. This is what I want. This is where I want to go. And they did it.
Miss Peavy wants to know who's going to throw him the ball. I want to know the same thing, Miss Peavy.
Yeah.
Because the damn sure ain't going to be Tua. I can tell you that right now. I mean, Tua's out there right now trying to figure out how in the hell he's going to get Tyreek the ball. I mean, because he's going to have to slow his ass down to catch it. I promise you that. I mean, Tua ain't never seen anything the likes of Tyreek Hill. I mean, Patrick Mahomes struggled to get him the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, look at how many balls that Tyreek Hill caught from Patrick Mahomes that looked like a punt return, where he was down there just waiting for the ball to come in like a punt.
Right.
I mean, look at the highlight film when they show Tyreek Hill. A lot of those throws, Mahomes is running and just slinging it out there. And Tyreek Hill is so open because he's so fast and got loose on a busted play that he just sitting there waiting and catches the ball like a damn punt return. And ain't no way in the hell Tua can do that. He can't do it.
Are you saying he can't reach or he doesn't have the time?
Both. But I mean, the bottom line is that even just on a regular post route, out route, any kind of route, I don't think Tua has the arm strength to get the ball to Tyreek Hill like he needs to. I just don't. I think Tyreek Hill is going to be very marginalized, very average with a quarterback like Tua. Because I think that, with Patrick Mahomes, you can, be exceptional and use that super speed and everything, get over where he can get you the ball. Tua can't get him the ball like that.
Right, but Coach, so and Miami has had wide receivers at the 2 level. All Tyreek Hill has to do is play at the 5 level for 3 years. Then he can play at level 6, and then he'll play at level 10, right, when it's about time for his new contract, and he'll bounce somewhere else.
Yeah, Matthew Kalut says don't forget he played with Ruggs, Waddle, and Devontae at Alabama. Oh, I'm not forgetting. But thank you, Ray. Ray Miller just said it. Tua doesn't have that arm, and he doesn't. He doesn't have it. Not for Tyreek Hill. Man, I'm just, and I hear what you're saying about those guys at Alabama. I'm with you. I don't have any problem. First of all, you know as well as I do, the NFL is just a whole notch above. The very best players in college sometimes struggle in the NFL because it's just on a whole nother level. It's on the level where you have 350-pound offensive or defensive lineman ran a 4.7 the other day. I mean, that's what you're talking about right there. I'll never forget Bradley Roby. When he first went to play with the Denver Broncos, he called me and said, "You were right. I should have played in the SEC." I said, "Why?" He said, "Dude, I ain't never seen speed like this in my life." And he was the fastest player at the time when he was coming out of college at Ohio State. Fastest player on Ohio State's team, Bradley Roby. Ran a sub 4.3. That means 4.28, 4.29. And he was complaining about how fast everybody was. He's like, good God Almighty, this speed is ridiculous. And that's what I'm saying is that you can say, yeah, well, Tua got those guys the ball. Dude, I guarantee you, Tyreek if they were to run a 100-yard dash or a 40-yard dash, Tyreek gonna smoke them. That dude is just on a whole nother level.
Yeah.
So, and I could see Tyreek say, you know what, I'm gonna do this for 4 more years or however long that contract is he just signed, and then I'm done. Because it takes a lot to run that fast. And it hurts a lot to run that fast. The next day when on Mondays are brutal when you run that fast every play all the time. It takes a lot out of your body. And when you're running that fast and catch a ball and then get hit by another guy who can run just as fast as you, except he had to backpedal to start his run and you were going forward. And when he catches you to hit you, he ain't happy. And so, you get beat up because Tyreek Hill is a little man. Make no mistake about it. He knows he's a little guy. And so, like I said, I could see Tyreek not being there anymore, being there after this contract. Waddle had 104 catches last season. Barely got over 1,000 yards with 104 catches. That's like less than 10 yards a catch. They dinking and dunking with him. He done became a damn possession receiver in the NFL. And I'm just telling you, those guys don't be running free and stuff like they did in college and run up and down the field and catching 80-yard post routes, touchdowns, and all that stuff. Man, they got people that can run just fast as them. And some of them play linebacker. In the NFL, you got linebackers that run a doggone 4.4s and 4.3s and stuff like that. Man, you crazy. So anyway, that's just on, like I said, on a whole nother level. Miss Carey, let's talk about basketball real quick before we get out of here. Let's go ladies first. Ladies first. Final Four is in effect. You got some beasts in that Final Four, though.
Yeah.
I told y'all both my teams on the men's side and the women's side are still in there. I'll pick South Carolina. Much as I hate Travis, and I know he's going to like South Carolina, I picked South Carolina. I know that's Travis' team, but I like Dawn Staley. That's why I picked it, and I told y'all that. And they're still in there. And I'm going to ride with South Carolina. Miss Carey, who you riding with?
So I picked USC to win it, but they're struggling. They're having a hard time, Travis. And defense is who's showing up here for these ladies. It's going to be who can score. And USC has had some difficulty. I'm picking Louisville to beat USC.
Ooh.
I'm picking UConn to beat Stanford, and then I'm picking UConn to win it all, to return to glory.
Miss Carey just putting daggers in my heart. I'm picking South Carolina to beat Louisville. And then I'm picking South Carolina to beat UConn. UConn had to go into double overtime the other night. What you got, Travis?
Okay, let me get this straight. So South Carolina women's are struggling, right?
I'm saying they haven't had a cakewalk. It's not been a cakewalk.
They just won their Elite 8 game by 30 points.
Okay. And what about the game before that?
10.
Okay. And the game before
They
that?
kept a team the entire game to 33 points total. 33 points in the whole game. Not a quarter, not a half. 33 points total.
Well, Miss Carey saw something she didn't like, Travis. I'm going to tell you that
Yeah.
right now. I'm with you, Miss Carey. Sometimes you just get that feeling. I ain't mad at you.
I picked them to win it, but they have not played. They have not played dominant ball. They haven't, and they got beat in their conference tournament by Tennessee.
You know who hasn't played very good?
I mean,
UConn.
UConn
should have lost to Southern Florida. But the only reason they won last night was because the game was 50 miles away from their campus in Bridgeport, Connecticut. If that game would have played anywhere other than UConn in Connecticut,
what I tell you about losses like that? What I tell you about losses like that, Travis? A lot of times that wakes you up, though. I'm waiting for it. You need losses like that to just wake you up a little bit and say,
"Hold on,
look at Duke."
I understand that. I get it. But you guys realize that UConn just lost one of their best players for the whole tournament, right?
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
Yes. She broke her wrist.
Who?
Yeah.
One of the centers for their team broke their wrist last night. She's out for the season.
Isn't it the tall black girl?
No, it was a white girl.
Oh, I thought it was a tall black girl.
No,
I got the wrong one.
It wasn't Edwards. It was the other one.
Okay, that's what I'm thinking of. Yeah, Edwards girl.
Broke her wrist. Good luck playing Stanford, who has 3 girls on their team over 6'4".
Yep.
Yeah.
South Carolina has the best player in the country right now, Aaliyah Boston, 6'7", and they got another girl who's 6'11". Good luck, UConn.
I'm sticking with my picks. I'm staying with South Carolina. I already told you that. I'm looking for
South Carolina versus Stanford, and I'm going to go South Carolina because, again, I'm a South Carolina fan. I think they're the best team in the country. But South Carolina and Stanford played each other already this year. South Carolina won. Stanford had a 10-point lead at one point in that game until South Carolina came back and won. Stanford.
I'm going South Carolina, UConn. I'm going South Carolina, UConn. I'm looking for UConn to beat who they playing?
Stanford.
Stanford, thank you.
I'm looking for UConn to beat Stanford in the final.
Yeah, I'm looking for UConn to beat Stanford. So that's our pick. All right, so we got our picks there. Me and Travis going for South Carolina. Miss Carey, who you call Stanford?
I call UConn.
Oh, UConn. You call UConn. Okay, let's go to the men's side real quick. We got 4 minutes. I'm a dookie. He's a dookie. She's a dookie. We're a dookie. I try to tell y'all. What I say? What did I say way back when we first started this thing? Make that ride with Coach K. I'm riding with Coach K, baby. When is the game? When is the semifinals?
Saturday.
This Saturday? I can't wait. I'm gonna give me a little popcorn, maybe have some people over, a little thing, Travis, you can come on over if you want.
I'll bring Ashley. Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, baby. See the anointing. We finna get all up in them hills, baby. In the hills.
Wait, how's there 2 of us on the call and you're gonna invite one of us? What's that look like?
Oh, Miss Carey, come on now. Miss Carey, come on now. I have to invite Travis. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to invite you because you always welcome. I have to let Travis know that he's welcome, Miss Carey.
You can come to the cookout, Travis.
But yeah, man. Oh, Miss Peavy said, what you say? $50 on the Duke game? You gonna bet $50 on? Miss Peavy, I'm gonna have to get back to you. I got to do a little bit more analysis. Because here's the thing, and I will admit, because I picked UCLA to beat North Carolina, and North Carolina's balling right now. I'm not gonna lie.
They are killing right now.
They are killing it right now. But them Dookies looking good too. Them Dookies playing some championship basketball right now. This is going to be, not only is it obviously one of the biggest rivals, and they had this big thing about the biggest rival in sports and all that, and a lot of people said this is it, and I don't believe that, but I do think this is a great rival, a rivalry, I should say. But I got to ride with my Dukies, so I'm picking Duke to win this. The other game is who's in the other game, Travis?
Kansas and
Villanova.
Ooh, I'm gonna go with Kansas there. I'm gonna pick Kansas in that one. So I'm gonna take Kansas in that one, and then it's gonna be Duke and Kansas. Ooh, that's gonna be a great final right there. But you know I'm going Coach K all the way, baby. Coach K all the way. Don't let us ruin Coach K's last dance. Don't worry, you ain't gonna ruin it. Miss Peter called me chicken shit. She said, "Scared money don't win nobody." Miss Peavy is my girl. That's what I'm talking about, Miss Peavy. Where's OJ? I need OJ on here. That's what I need. But yeah, I'm gonna pick. I'm going with Duke. Travis, who you got?
First, I'll go Kansas. I think that's the easiest game to pick out of the two. I think that one's easy.
Okay.
I'll actually take Kansas to win the national championship.
Yeah.
That Duke North Carolina game, I think, is so tough to call.
Mm.
North Carolina may be, I think, probably the hottest team in the country right now. They are hitting on all cylinders, but there's something going on with Duke that is telling me I should pick Duke. So I'll go Duke, Kansas, but Kansas takes them in the national championship game.
Wow. Well, I picked Duke, Kansas too, but I picked the Duke. Miss Karen, what you got?
I got UNC, Kansas. Kansas wins it. I picked Kansas from the beginning.
Wow, y'all all up in Kansas cookies and everything. Well, that's terrible. Why? Kansas ain't that good. I mean, that man.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, they are.
They are. They're big. Yeah.
The two teams, I mean, have you been watching? You said yourself, North Carolina been balling.
They are. Doesn't North
I
Carolina
mean, them
have
jokers
injury,
in
though?
so much sync. I mean, they just cut into the basket and behind the back bounce. Whenever you can hit somebody on the behind the back bounce pass, and he immediately catches the ball and does a reverse layup, dude, that was nasty.
Yeah,
But I saw that.
I got
Them
UNC
jokers
in
look
there. I don't
nasty. I was just like, holy
Kansas.
moly. I mean, out there doing Harlem Globetrotter type stuff. So,
I got
anyway.
Kansas. So we got Kansas.
How UNC become your team all of a sudden, Miss Peavy? You ain't ever said nothing about North. Has anybody ever heard Miss Peavy say anything about North Carolina? Now she talking about my team. I'm gonna pick my team, UNC. When did UNC become your team? We've been doing this show for 12 years now. This first time I ever heard you say UNC. Only thing you've confirmed on this show is you the biggest Atlanta Falcon fan outside of Miss Carey around. We knew that. Other than that, have y'all ever heard Miss Peavy say anything about UNC?
I really think I have. I'm not trying to be silly.
I mean, you got to be kidding.
Maybe earlier in the dance.
Yeah, man, that ain't your team. I be talking about your team. Have I seen your license plate? I didn't know you had a car. Anyway.
Stop, Coach. Stop.
All right, folks. It's time. Yeah, you send me a pic. It's time for us to get out of here. I hope and pray that you are a UNC person, because the Duke is finna. Coach K is. I ain't worried about it, because Coach K gonna take care of it. I already know that. When we do the, they already asked me if I would be in the production when they do Coach K's last dance, and they'll have me in there. I'm like, hey, I called Coach K. Well, he called me first that week, and I called him back. I wasn't there to answer the phone, and I said, look, man. I said, look, Mike, just relax. I said, just if you do like I told you, we're gonna have it points up. Yeah, I call him. I actually called him Mikey. I said, hey, Mikey. I said, look, man. I said, if you do what I told you, you got him. You got him. Just stick with the plan. Stick with the plan. So just so you know, Miss Peavy, that's what's gonna happen. Miss Peavy said she's been rolling with them since 1980. Whatever. We got to get out of here, folks. We appreciate everybody for tuning in. Miss Hood, bye, Miss Hood, Tom, everybody. We appreciate all y'all being here. Mr. Butler, I saw Mr. Butler sneak in the back door. He came in a little bit late today. He normally number one He's a little late. Then Miss Carrie, as always, thank you for being here. Travis, the man on the ones and twos. Travis, we appreciate you. Even though you picked the wrong team to win on the men's side. So we appreciate you, though. Anyway, folks, we'll get out of here. We'll see everybody next week. Good night, Miss Francis.
Straight from the hip.
All right, Travis, I'll holler at you.